Hey guys, welcome back. Today on The Untidy Artist, we will be making a Santa and Mrs. Claus gnome ornament. I posted my first gnome video last year. It is definitely the most popular video on my YouTube channel right now. Gnomes are all the rage, and I had so much fun putting together Santa and the lovely Mrs. Claus. Let's grab some supplies and get started. You'll definitely want to check out my original gnome ornament tutorial. I will link that below. I will be referring back to that a lot during this video. Also, if you enjoy this, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. That would be amazing. So to create the body and the hats, I'll be using these gloves, and I just cut off the fingertips. Out of one pair of gloves, you can get a lot of gnomes out of it. I'll be using red for Santa, and then I picked out this sparkly red for Mrs. Claus for her body. And also, I had someone ask me recently what to do with the rest of the glove after you've cut the fingertips off. I thought maybe you could sew around the edges and fill it with something, or maybe cut it into tiny pieces and use it to fill your gnomes. I don't know. I thought I'd ask you guys, what are some creative ways you could use this part of the material so we're not wasting anything? Then we'll need some fur, and this is just craft fur. I actually purchased this a year ago from Joann's craft store, and I still have this much left. I'll put a link below for that. And then we'll be using this thread for Mrs. Claus' hair. I really like the little bit of metallic that's in this thread. We'll be using wooden beads for the noses, and I have a bigger one for Santa and a smaller one for Mrs. Claus. I will link the ones I love the best below. We'll be using this yarn that looks like fur to trim their hats. This is the softest, yummiest fur. I got this at Hobby Lobby. I'll put a link below, and it worked out just perfectly to trim their hats. I have some polyfill that I'll be using to fill their bodies. And this is actually from a pillow I got at IKEA for $2, and I'm just using the insides of it. And then I have some poly bands to put our gnomes together. And then these are just some little pieces of greenery. I rated my wreath making supplies. I got this at Michael's, and this is my favorite. I love the little red berries on it. And I just cut off some tiny pieces of this to decorate our gnomes with. You could also use something sparkly, like this really pretty red. And then I am actually putting just a plain piece of green at the ends of Mrs. Claus' braids. Then I have some pom-poms for the top of their hats. I have a needle and thread, and we're going to use this to turn our gnomes into ornaments. I have a sharp pair of scissors and my glue gun set on low. Okay, first of all, we're going to make Santa. So I'm going to, first of all, cut out his beard. So I take my craft fur, I cut out a pattern. It measures 1 1/4 by an inch. I'm going to take my razor blade and cut out this rectangle from the back of the fur. And there's more information in that gnome ornament tutorial that will be linked below. Then we're going to create his body. So I've got one of the red fingers that I'm going to be using for Santa's body. I'm filling it really full because it's Santa. And you can see I'm just pressing the polyfill into the little fingertip, and then I kind of roll it around and make sure it's even. And then this is where the poly band comes in. We're going to use the poly band to seal it off at the top. You could also use thread, or dental floss works really well. Then we're going to create his hat. So I am just rolling it inside out. I put a little dab of glue on the inside to give it some more shape. You don't have to do that. And then I'm going to fill it with a tiny bit of polyfill to give it some more shape. And once again, all of these instructions are in that first video I did on gnome ornaments. And then I'm going to glue on Santa's beard. Add a little bit more glue so it's nice and secure. And then I'm going to put his hat on. So you want to push the hat down further than you will actually have it be on his head. And then I hold the glove in the front, and I hold the back of his body, and I'm going to push it up in the back and add some glue, and then pull the hat down up and over the glue to secure it in the back. And then I'm going to flip him to the front, and we're going to add our nose. So I like to take some scissors and kind of find the middle of the beard and figure out exactly where I'm going to put the nose. And then I put a tiny dab of glue on the back of the bead. You want to make sure the hole is going vertical. So the hole is going up and down. And then I'm going to kind of put it on an angle so we can cover up that little hole at the top with the hat. And then I'm going to push up the hat take a little bit more glue, add it right to the top, and pull the hat down up and over his nose. And if you need to go back and add a little bit more glue, you can. I like to do as tiny dabs of glue so you're not getting big gobs of glue on your gnome. And then I'm going to take my fur and I just cut off a big piece of it. I'm going to put a little dab of glue in the back, and then I'm just tacking it around the rim of the hat. Now, I like having a little bit of red show underneath the fur, but if you wanted it, you could push that down more so you don't see that little line of red. And then when I get to the back, I'm going to meet that up, trim off the end, and then add a little bit more glue if I need to. And I love how this just transforms this little gnome into Santa Claus. So cute. And then I'm going to add the little pom-pom to the top of the hat. I would actually recommend putting the glue on the pom-pom and not the hat. I don't know why I did it this way. It works better if you put the glue on the pom-pom, and you only need the tiniest little bit of glue. And then hold the pom-pom in place until the glue sets. And then all we have left to do is add a little bit of greenery. This is optional, but I love the contrast of the green and the red, and I think it just looks so cute. So I've just cut off some pieces of this greenery that I got from Michael's. A little goes a long, long way. And I'm just gluing that right at the top of his hat. And ta-da, we have Santa. Now, the last thing we need to do is turn this into an ornament. So I've taken a very, very long piece of thread, longer than you think you would need. I'm going to just put that through the top of the hat, line it up, tie it off. And then by having a really long piece of thread, you're ready to make your next ornament and you're not rethreading the needle every single time. And we have a gnome Santa ornament. Now for Mrs. Claus. Okay, you'll want to visit the fairy hair salon into how, I have a girl fairy tutorial where I teach you how to create this hairstyle. That will be linked below. I've already filled up her body. You can see we're using the sparkly red. We're gonna glue the hair. So I hold it down, I hold the braids together, taking a little bit of glue, I'm lifting the braids back, adding a dab of glue, and securing that in place. So just like with the beard, you're just adhering that to the front of the gnome, and then I'm going to push the hat up and over, pulling it down further than it will actually be. And then I'm holding the front of the braids and the back of the gnome. I'm gonna push that hat up. It took me a second to get this one arranged nicely. And I'm going to pull that up in the back, add some glue, pull the hat down up and over the glue, and just press that until the glue sets. And then I'm going to push the hat up in the front, and we're going to add the bead for her nose right at the top of the braids. So a little dab of glue. Once again, making sure that the holes in the bead are vertical, and then I'm going to put a little bit of glue right over the top of the nose, pull the hat down, and then I'm going to secure the braids. So just a little dab of glue underneath those braids so they don't move around. And now we're going to put the yarn right around the top of her hat, just like we did with Santa. I'm going to give her a haircut. And I always start by cutting off just a little bit. You can always go back and cut off more, but it's super sad if you cut her braids, the ends of her braids short, because then you've got these weird stubby braids. And then I'm taking two little pieces of that greenery and I'm putting them at the ends of the braids. And I'm taking a little piece of the sparkly greenery and putting it at the top. And we have Mrs. Claus. Then the last thing you need to do is turn it into an ornament. And that's it, guys. We're all set. I can't even believe how cute these turned out. I am really excited to put them on gifts that I'm giving out. I think it would be so cute to do a whole bunch of these and kind of make each Santa a little bit different and fill a little tree with these. Last year we went on vacation and I took a tiny tree with me that I put gnomes all over, and it was so much fun. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. If you love gnomes and have friends that love gnomes, please share this video with them. It helps me out so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And also, I have some new Flower Fairy kits in my Etsy shop. I will put a link for those below, so if you like DIYs and making your own fun things, you'll want to check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have answered some frequently asked questions below in the description of the video, so check that out. And thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.